The 1970s didn't raise ordinary children. They created strong minds. There's a specific type of calm that only exists in people who grew up before screens took over the world. You can spot them in a conversation. They don't panic when plans fall apart. They don't reach for their phone when there's silence. They just exist, comfortably. And that didn't happen by accident. The kids of the 1970s lived in a different operating system. No one tracked their location. No one scheduled their play dates. You woke up, you left, and you came back when the streetlights turned on. That was the rule. And somehow, everyone survived. What that created wasn't just nostalgia. It was a psychological foundation, a belief that you could handle the unknown, that getting lost wasn't dangerous. It was part of the day. They learned to trust themselves because there was no other option. But here's what really shaped them: their parents. Most 70s kids had mothers and fathers who lived through war, real scarcity, real loss. And those parents didn't talk about their trauma. They just moved forward. They worked, they fixed things, they didn't complain, and they didn't expect credit. That silence taught a lesson. Life is hard, and you deal with it. No one's coming to save you. You are the solution. So when something broke, you learned how to repair it. When money was tight, you made it work. When things went wrong, you adapted. That wasn't philosophy. That was Tuesday. They watched their parents carry life's weight without announcing it, and that became normal. Responsibility wasn't some abstract concept you learned in school. It was the air you breathed at home. This is why people from that generation often seem older than they are. Not tired, grounded. They've got a kind of internal stability that doesn't need validation. They don't post about their struggles. They just handle them. And now they sit in this strange place. They remember rotary phones and handwritten letters, but they also live in a world of instant everything. They're the last generation that knows what boredom felt like, real boredom, the kind that forced you to create something or go outside or just think. That's why talking to them feels different. They listen more, they react less. They're not performing, they're just present. Strength for them wasn't taught in workshops. It was built through experience, through being trusted too early, through figuring it out or failing quietly. Now look at the generation growing up today. They're born into chaos, constant notifications, endless content, algorithms designed to keep them hooked. Their brains are processing more stimulus in an hour than a 70s kid saw in a month, and it's exhausting them. They're anxious, overstimulated, and comparing themselves to highlight reels they know are fake, but still can't ignore. Their rest isn't rest, it's scrolling. Their downtime isn't downtime, it's consumption. They're incredibly talented, more informed, more aware, more creative in some ways than any generation before them. But they're also more mentally exhausted because the world doesn't stop, the feed doesn't end, the pressure doesn't pause. They're trying to build a life in a system that was designed to distract them from living it. So here's the real question. Which generation faced the harder challenge? Was it the one that grew up with nothing but freedom and responsibility, or the one growing up with everything but no space to breathe? And more importantly, when were you born? Before 1980 or after? I'm curious where you stand.